nervous that I feel that I'm the one in the blocks right now. But 974, making you the fastest man in the world. I mean, you just continue to do that. You continue to re-engineer yourself.
Yeah.
What's the next target?
Well, the next target, you know, for now, I'm trying to, you know, stay focused and trying to keep, you know, my world record and, you know, trying to stay on top, you know, because, you know, a lot of people want to take this position from me, but, you know, it's just for me to stay strong, you know, and, you know, maybe next year, you know, I can move it down a little bit so no one can reach it.
You know, you know, the 2007 with the World Championships and that scenario, many people began to have doubts about an Asafa Powell and the statements you made that you had panicked and stuff like that. Share with us that experience. You know, what was Asafa going through at that point?
Well, at that point, you know, I went out there, I made a mistake. You know, I know what I did wrong, you know, but, you know, I felt bad in a way because, you know, a lot of people, you know, are watching and expecting and, you know, hoping big things from me there. You know, and I didn't meet their expectations, but, you know, me as an athlete, you know, I have to really go out there and really compete, run for myself. You know, I can't please everybody. You know, I'm human, you know, I make mistakes at times. You know, so, you know, I went there, made a mistake, and I bounced back from that, you know, a week later.
You know, one of the things we will say is that the support for Asafa Powell is always there. Of course, as the big man, the big challenges, comes with criticisms, you know that. And you weathered it well because 2 weeks later, there you were, yeah, shocking the world. Let me ask you, the 974 as opposed to 977 when you had set it at that time, which one to you had the most, you felt, had the most impact, that you felt that, yes, I achieved something? Which one gave you that high?
Well, I would say the 977 because, you know, I felt like I worked harder before that. You know, the 974 I was very surprised when I ran that because I was, you know, I didn't feel like I was running, you know, and when I saw the time on the clock, I was very surprised. But I would say the 977 I put out a lot more for that. So.
Let me ask this. You know, we look at the performances of our Jamaican athletes today, and you see the homegrown talent, and you know, see track clubs like the one you run for MVP and other track clubs coming up. What do you have to say now about the whole development, the infrastructure, you know, the support for athletes in Jamaica? What do you think is happening there? Are you satisfied at the level where it's at right now that is growing?
Yes, I'm satisfied. You know, when we started out in Jamaica, you know, there wasn't much, you know, people had a lot of doubts. You know, I would say the only support we had was from like UTEC, you know, and from you know, coach and friends and family. So now, you know, we made a lot of progress. You know, in like 3 years, we had the fastest man in the world. You know, another year we have the fastest woman in the world. You know, and everything is just going well. You know, and you know, a lot more people want to come to Jamaica to train. You know, they want to see what makes us, you know, so good.
As an ambassador, because obviously whenever you go over the world, you know, you've always spoken out for Jamaica. You represent Jamaica. The flag is important to you. What else do you think Asafa Powell can do to help to promote the sport and in so doing Jamaica?
Well, you know, right now, you know, I'm doing a lot, you know, to really put in Jamaica, you know, on another level on the map, you know. So, you know, now I would say, you know, it's just for the other athletes to really come on board and do good things, you know, because there's not much more that I can do. You know, yes, I'm opening the doors, and the other athletes have to, you know, grow up and come on board.
You know, training in Italy, I understand Italy is like your second home. This is a man who come from Linstead, by the way. You know, So here you are from Linstead, and I understand Italy is like your second home. Are there any similarities there? Why as far as why Italy and that area in Italy?
In Italy, the weather is very good. You know, that's one of the key things you have to look at when it comes to training. You know, so Italy, the weather is very warm.
What about the food?
Actually, we provide our own food, so we'll cook for ourselves and try to go as close to home as possible.
So very soon you guys were planting bananas down there and all that kind of stuff.
Really.
And you get your dumpling and all that. You know, I have to come back to this. We saw recently with the situation of drugs in athletics with Marion Jones. You know, Marion Jones has been, I'd say, a fan favorite in Jamaica. I remember every time Marion runs in Jamaica, you think that she's Jamaican because she probably get as much accolades as yourself, you know. To see what has happened to her, what's your take on that? You know, the impact it has on the sport.
Well, it has a big, you know, it creates a big dent, you know, in track and field because Marion Jones was one of those athletes who, you know, maybe 90% of the world, you know, really admire and look up to. So, you know, when she come out now 7 years later and said that she was on drugs, you know, a lot of people were broken, you know, and you know, it's very bad for the sport now because, you know, people around are going to wonder who else is on drugs and not really trust anybody again.
That put pressure on you because I imagine when you run that 974, I can just imagine just how the hawks were flying around.
Yes, I'm the next person who people really, you know, look for.
How does that make you feel?
Well, in myself, I don't really feel, I'm not bothered by anything because I know what, you know, I'm doing. You know, I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, but in people's sight, you know, not everyone understand. You know, and to see someone running so fast, you know, sometimes it seems very ridiculous, you know, so, you know, I don't really wrong them for thinking that because, you know, I'm running so fast and that's the first time a human is running so fast, but, you know, I just want them to know that, you know, I'm Jamaican, you know, and Jamaicans always want to be the best and they always put out the best.
I remember this Sunday when we did the 974, I was up by Chris Stokes' house, close by where you are, with Michael Clark, and we were we sat down there analyzing it, and the only thing that Michael Clark could say was that we have gone to another level. Right? Now, with going to another level, your nemesis now, your guy who is the competitor out there, Tyson Gay. How is that competition, and where do you see this heading? I mean,
well, you know, the competition is good for the sport. You know, the way that I lost to him at the World Championship, it shows that, you know, I'm not unbeatable, you know, and it tells me that, you know, I should work harder and train as if I'm second best, you know, but every year you have someone else coming out, so you just have to be on your double watch.
You know, looking back at some of the achievements of athletes who have come ahead of you, the Raymond Stewarts of the world who have managed to reach the finals of all these major races in these Olympics, you know, where do you see Asafa, you know, I mean, apart from the world records, but looking at what guys like Raymond Stewart has accomplished, and what does that mean to you?
Well, you know, it shows that, you know, Jamaicans, you know, can do it, you know, and for someone to reach the final of the 100-meter, which is the premier event, you know, that's really, you know, a big accomplishment, you know, but I really want to take it, you know, farther than that. You know, I want the gold medal, you know, at the Olympic game. I want to bring that gold medal back to Jamaica and to really, you know, show the world that Jamaica can do it.
So 2008 is when we should be watching out for this gold medal in Beijing. Looking behind you now, and looking, you know, you've opened the door. Youngsters coming up, the Usain Bolts of the world, Johan Blake. What say you of them?
Well, you know, they are great athletes, you know, and to tell you the truth, you know, the whole world is watching Jamaica now to see who else they're going to produce because, you know, they're wondering what's going on there in Jamaica, you know, and you know, I think they're scared of Jamaica now, you know, because as you said, Ewan Blake, you know, he's very young, you know, he's coming up, he's running very fast, and you know, only God knows what he's going to do in the next years to come, you know, and Usain Bolt is running very well. He's still very young, you know, and he has a lot more to learn, but you know, he's getting there, and he will be there.